kitchen now with Lindsay Brooks. She is a wonderful pastry chef from Runaway Spoon, and when we were thinking of coffee desserts, we gave her a call and making one of my favorites, kind of a new twist on it today, tiramisu.
Yes, tiramisu. Coffee's one of my favorites. I'm like you in the morning. I got the big mug and I just sip it and then I microwave it and sip it some more and I just keep going with it. So.
Yep, keeps you going, exactly. So these look so beautiful. Tell me they're not all that hard to do.
They're actually not. Tiramisu is a pretty easy dessert. It is a no-bake dessert, which I know that you're a fan of. And in the summer days, it's also very nice. I fancied it a little bit with just putting in some cocktail glasses, but you can just do it in a regular 8x8 inch pan. It'll work too. So if you don't have the glasses, you don't have to go out and buy them. You can do the recipe in an 8x8 inch pan.
But I think we all have pretty wine glasses, martini glasses that we don't use very often, and the in thing now, very much on trend, is everybody getting their own.
Yep.
So I think that's a neat way to present it. So all right, put me to work. I've got some Lamers heavy cream here.
Yep. So you want to start out with a whole cup of heavy whipping cream and about half a cup of powdered sugar.
Okay.
And you're going to whip cream with that, kind of like using Cool Whip, but this is going to be a little bit richer than that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make the coffee syrup. So you're going to start out by doing a couple shots of espresso. If you don't have espresso, you can use instant coffee, or you could just brew a really dark batch of regular coffee. But you want to have a really intense flavor here.
Okay. Those granules I used earlier, those work great.
Yep, exactly.
Espresso granules.
And then I always add spiced rum to my coffee mixture. You can add Kahlua. Traditionally, it's Marsala wine can go in here. I've done Bailey's Irish Cream to kind of change it up a little bit too, so you can play around with it, but overall you want something with a spice to it, something with a kick to it.
Okay.
And
about how much?
It's equal parts coffee to rum, so 1/4 of a cup of each.
Okay.
And 1/4 of a cup of sugar.
Okay.
Just regular granulated sugar. You want to mix this up so that that sugar dissolves inside of that coffee.
So that's easy.
This part's pretty easy, and what you're making is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Traditionally, in Italian cooks, they normally do it with eggs. So they separate egg yolks and egg whites, and then they whip them up separately and fold them in. And the eggs are actually never cooked, and it stays as a really light, fluffy dessert. Here in America, we kind of have a little bit more concerned about raw eggs.
Right.
So heavy whipping cream is kind of a good substitute for that.
Okay.
So you're looking for soft peaks there, Amy, which you're getting pretty close here.
And then we've got, of course, the traditional mascarpone cheese. This is what you'll find in most tiramisu recipes. Describe to people what this is and where you find it. It's usually not with the the sliced cheese in the grocery store.
Right. The consistency is going to be a lot like a cream cheese, like a soft cream cheese. But you're not going to find it over by the cream cheese. You're going to go to the specialty cheese area. It's kind of normally by the deli area. Almost all the stores will carry it. And this particular recipe calls for 1 pound.
Okay.
So you want either a big container or 2 of the small containers.
Okay.
And there is a company out there that started making a tiramisu mascarpone, which you can definitely use. It's a little bit of a cheater. It already has the coffee flavor enhanced to it. I like to make it from scratch so that you can control how much coffee you want to add, and then I can always have the extra shot of coffee when I make it.
Sure.
But if you did, all you could find was a tiramisu mascarpone. Go ahead, try that too. It'll work just fine for you.
Okay.
So, we got soft peaks going with our whipped cream here, which is perfect.
Okay.
Now we want to go ahead and add this whole container of mascarpone.
Okay.
And then we're
just
just gonna
see it looks very much like it's a softer like cream cheese, but it is absolutely fantastic.
Yep, and there's some recipes out there that will tell you to use cream cheese for tiramisu. Throw that recipe out. You definitely want to use mascarpone. That is the true flavor of it, because it's just coffee with the cheese. It's essentially all we're making here. So you want to buy the good cheese. You want to have the right flavor to go with it.
Good tip. All right, so I'm going to work on mixing this together. Now I see lady fingers over there.
Yep, so you can either make your own lady fingers, but if we don't have time to do that, you can always buy them. They're typically in the regular cookie section of the grocery store. And for the little glasses that I have here, you start out by taking about 1/3 of these cookies, dipping them into your coffee mixture, and then putting them in here.
Okay.
Now, if you were making like an 8x8 inch pan, you would just dip the whole ladyfinger in here and then layer it into your pan. But you want to break them up so that they fit inside of our glass.
Okay. How long do you normally let them soak in there?
I just give them a good dip and let them go. You don't want them to be completely saturated because you do want a little bit of crunch in your tiramisu yet.
Okay, and these are a make ahead. So they're going to soften up, that cookie's going to soften up even more in their fridge.
Yep, yep. These are make ahead and chill for at least a couple hours before you serve them. So it's something to get out of the way.
Which is nice. What about the day ahead? Can you make them a whole day ahead?
Yep, definitely. Even 2 or 3 days ahead if you're strapped for time. Yep.
Okay.
All right, Amy. And the last one that
Does
needs
that
to
look
go
okay?
in here, it looks perfect. We're just going to add maybe a tablespoon or so, just to give the cream a little bit of flavor on top of the mascarpone flavor.
Okay.
And that is perfect. And for me, I'm going to use a piping bag. You don't have to. If the piping bags scare you a little bit, you can just spoon them into your glasses.
Okay.
But for me, I like the piping bag. It actually goes a little bit faster for me.
And you can control when you're working in the little guys, it really does help you get it right in there and not all over the place.
Yeah, the recipe that's online is going to do an 8 by 8 inch pan, or that normally yields 8 glasses, depending on what size glasses you have. So.
All right.
All right. So we've got the ladyfinger down there first.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and pipe in our mascarpone filling. And now, Amy, if you want to...
More cookie?
No, actually the shaker
Okay.
goes in. So you want cocoa powder. And that's when you actually eat it, you get a little bit of the cocoa into it. It's a dry cocoa flavor.
Any kind of special cocoa powder that you like to use?
No, just the darkest you can find in the store.
Okay.
And then we do about, I don't know, half of a ladyfinger or so. And put them right on into the glass.
These are kind of fun to make.
There's something different. If you have kids that like to help you in the kitchen, I know that the coffee and the alcohol you can't, but as far as breaking up the cookies and piping them in and decorating the tops, the kids will love it.
We always get questions for people who don't like to cook with alcohol or haven't in their desserts. Could you just leave that out?
You could, definitely, and just
okay.
use the coffee. You know, and we've even done just ones with, you know, amaretto in them or something like that.
Oh, an almond extract or
Yep,
something like that,
exactly.
just to give it some flavor. Okay.
And we want to pipe on there. One more time to the top.
For a dinner party, what a special treat. You know, everyone gets their own. You bring these out. They're in the refrigerator anyway. You totally look like a rock star. A little bit more.
A little more cocoa powder on top. And like I said, you just want to serve them chilled. So put them in the fridge for a couple hours or a couple days if that's what you have. And
here they are. How gorgeous do those look? And that cookie softens up. Those are beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. And if you want her to make these for you, or if you have a special occasion, need a special cake, from wedding cakes to you name it, you can get a hold of Lindsay. Runaway Spoon in Green Bay.
Thank
correct?
you.
Yeah.